All right, let's talk Ohio State Buckeyes football. Look, the team up north obviously was in the news for a lot of great reasons for their franchise and their program. And look, credit to them, national champions, all of that. But it looks like Ohio State, well, everybody was watching the national championship game, pulled off an impressive move. I think right now the move of the offseason up to this point in terms of a big name. Let's get right into the report, and then we'll talk about it on the other side. This is from ESPN. Ohio State added some star power in the run game on Monday night with Ole Miss transfer running back Quinshon Judkins, who announced his commitment to the Buckeyes. Judkins is a true sophomore who entered the transfer portal Friday, a somewhat surprising move considering how many starters the Rebels are returning next season. Judkins was the team's leading rusher the past two seasons, running for 1,567 yards and 16 scores. His freshman year in 2022, he ran for 1,158 yards, which was 25th among all FBS running backs, and 15 touchdowns, tied for 11th this season. Adding Judkins gives Ohio State an incredible 1-2 punch if Henderson does return, or it gives the team a clear number one back if Henderson leaves for the NFL. Either way, adding Judkins gives the Buckeyes an experienced back with 2 seasons of eligibility who will help improve the run game in 2024. All right, so here's why this move matters, and what I'm seeing from Ohio State gets me really excited so far this offseason in terms of what the future of Ohio State looks like. We talk about this all the time, Mize, whether it's on our college channel, this channel, or NFL channel. Teams have to recognize what they are, right? Are you the scrappy underdog, right? That's a different mentality in terms of how you manage your team and things like that. Are you the clear-cut number one favorite, right? Are you the up-and-comer, right? Are you the team on the decline trying to bounce back? You have to understand who you are. And right now, especially after Michigan beat Washington and won the national title, especially after Michigan beat Ohio State the past 3 seasons, it is clear, undeniably, that Ohio State is the undisputed number two in the Big Ten. That's not hating on Ohio State. That's just reality. Buckeyes fans, I'm sure you guys will recognize it very much as well, the current state of the program. This is what you have to do. If you recognize, okay, I'm the number two program in my conference, I've got to change things. I've got to go out and be aggressive to fix this now. And that's exactly what Ryan Day is doing. You talk about adding a quarterback through the transfer portal, right? A lot of people said that wasn't going to happen. They definitely weren't going to do that. What do? Ryan Day's like, nope, we're going to add a transfer quarterback. We're going to accelerate our offensive going back to playing better football much quicker. We're not going down this route based on what we saw in the bowl game. How about the running game? Already pretty good. Nope, we're going to go out and add, my opinion, the best overall football player in the transfer portal. My opinion, it's not consensus, but it's just my thought in Judkins. We're going to go out and get him while everybody's watching the national championship game. That is how you turn this program around in terms of moving back to the top of the Big Ten, recognizing we're number two. We're no longer number one. We're not going to sit and rest on what we've done the past few seasons and do our normal recruiting, developing, seeing what happens, bringing all our elite talent, just thinking we're the best team in the conference like we've been for the better part of a decade. Now that the paradigm has shifted, you're number two, Ohio State. Ryan Day and company, great job recognizing that you're no longer number one and immediately addressing that problem by bringing in elite talent at positions of need. This is big, Ohio State fans, because the most important mistake or great decision that a program can do is recognize what they are. Are you a contender, the underdog, number two, number three? You have to do that because once you recognize where you are, you can make sound strategic decisions to accelerate your progression forward. Ohio State has clearly done that based on these moves in the transfer portals, in the transfer portal, excuse me. Miles, I'm curious what your thoughts are on Ohio State, but first, Buckeyes fans, give your opinion of what Ryan Day has done so far this offseason. Give me a grade in the comment section below. Obviously, it's still early, but we do have a lot of transfer news. We have had the early signing day. Give us your grade, A, B, C, D, F, whatever you want to put for the grade of Ryan Day so far this offseason in the comment section below. But Miles, give me your thoughts on the Ohio State Buckeyes and just the direction of this program right now.
Yeah, Nick, I think it's the right direction for the Buckeyes because when the Buckeyes have an elite running back on the roster, that's when they do their best work. And they really haven't had that since they lost J.K. Dobbins. I don't think there's really been a running back that kind of put themselves up. Trey Sermon was pretty good. I don't think it was quite the level as a guy like Dobbins. I think Judkins could be that next guy. And I think this is a great time for this to happen because we did an earlier video a few days ago talking about the quarterback position for the Buckeyes and what would be the best situation for a guy like Aaron Nolan to come into, having a superstar running back in the backfield to help take the pressure off of him early on in his career, really let him get himself settled into this Big Ten conference, playing against all of these top tier defenses, get him out there, let him feel comfortable, and have a running back that he can hand the ball off to and make a lot of big plays. I think this is great timing for this edition. I think this is a big time addition for the Buckeyes as well. And I think this is going to help get them back to where they want to be. Being in the college football playoff, beating Michigan, you're going to need a great running back to do that. And a guy like Judkins is just the guy to help you do that.
I agree 100%. And again, let's focus on why Michigan usurped Ohio State as the best team in the Big Ten. Harbaugh basically built his entire team and his program to beat Ohio State, right? His whole process, we're going to bring in guys to counter what Ohio State has done. That's what you do when you're the number two, trying to become the number one. Ohio State being the number one, rightly so, just sort of maintain the status quo because you don't want to upset the apple cart. Now that they're back to the number two, now they have to figure out, okay, how do we beat Michigan again and go back to being number one? I think having an aggressive physical pounder at the running back position is exactly what Ohio State needs. I think Judkins is a great player in his own right. His numbers in the SEC are fantastic, but I think his style of play is what's really important. This dude literally loves contact. He loves destroying linebackers and DBs. He did that in the SEC, which means he should have a lot of success with that in the Big Ten upcoming as well. And this is just one of those attitude moves. We talk about all the time in the NFL when a team brings in a free agent to kind of change the attitude of an offense or a defense. This is an attitude move that, again, gives an edge, a little nastiness to an Ohio State football team that frankly needs it, right? They've kind of been lacking a little bit of that edge for a number of years now. They've been relying, I think, sometimes too much on a passing game because it's just so laced with talent. I mean, how do you not throw the ball with all these great receivers? But they haven't had that just, we're going to maul you up front and bury you into the dirt mentality at times. They had it in the past. I think Judkins brings it back to this football program right away. And it is the perfect counter to Michigan because what all Michigan wants to do is just say, we're just going to try and play bully ball and play ugly ball. We're going to get you in the mud with us. Ohio State hasn't been able to overcome that the past 3 seasons. Judkins gives them a weapon that allows them to counter Michigan and gives them a great chance to move back to number one in the Big Ten.